Yes, that makes sense. So, yeah, looks like we've got Thomas on the USSR today, and Adrian on the US. So just getting hands placed here. It looks like Thomas is going to go with a 4-5 opening here. What do you think about that? I've seen Michael Stryker use it. I've seen good players use it, and I've seen other players say, you know what, even as a bluff, that Italy access is just too important, and they've got to put one in Austria or one in Yugoslavia. What do you think of the 4-5 opening?
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, typically that one in Yugoslavia or Austria tends to not matter, but I agree with you. I think it does give the U.S. a little bit of peace of mind. I mean, when I see that, I'm comfortable doing a 4-3-3 setup to protect Iran a little bit, just because that access is not there for the USSR should they wipe.
Yeah, so we'll see if Adrian adjusts his opening setup to do something a little bit different, or if he's just going to go with the standard 4-4-2. And in fact, he just goes with the regular old 4-4-2. So looks like we're going to, I would assume, a Nasser headline here with Middle East scoring in hand.
The Nasser headline is going to get defectored.
Yep.
So let's see. The Nasser headline, I'm a little less tempted when I have Middle East in hand because you can't catch it, but he's going to go for it anyways. I don't know that he has a better option. Asia would be maybe my other thought, or captured Nazis.
Yeah, he can always use 5-year plan to dump Middle East after this defectoring happens. Asia, very difficult for the U.S. to get Asia domination unless they want to jam Pakistan and South Korea early. But a pretty low ops, terrible hand here for Thomas.
Yeah, it looks like we might have lost the stream temporarily, or Thomas has a very unshaky hand here.
Yeah, having trouble seeing Thomas's side, but and it looks like it is Adrian's turn now. The stream's been paused for just a second. Hang on, folks. So not quite sure what is happening. I would assume we had either a coup or influence placement here by Thomas. Okay, so DEFCON is at 4. It appears that Thomas tried a 2-op coup and failed it.
Yes, that does look like what happened. I believe it was Olympic Games.
Yep, Olympic Games coup, and he rolled either a 1 or a 2. And Adrian is now going to spread out. Gone 1 into Lebanon to take Middle East domination, 1 into Iraq, which is interesting, not Pakistan, and then 1 into Malaysia.
And then there you go. Comic-Con gets played immediately. So again, the one in Yugoslavia, the 4-5, did not end up mattering, as we were talking about.
Nope, did not matter. So Thomas in a little bit of a bind here. He's got low ops. I mean, would you think about going to space here right away? Just snag those 2 VPs, or would you dump Asia?
I think you kind of have to dump Asia because you can't play 5-year plan, obviously, and you probably want to save the IP war, take a shot if Adrian moves in to Pakistan, and so that leaves you with special relationship or captured Nazis. For me, I would dump Asia.
Yeah, I sure you hate to have the scoring card stuck in your hand. Okay, so it looks like the Asia dump is what happened. We've got the stream back now, and
we also got captured Nazis was played.
Okay, and then on the U.S. side, the U.S. tried to go to space and failed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what the U.S. faced.
Yep, and we've got a little bit of lag here, and it looks like this is interesting. Thomas is going to take a couple of Eastern European non-battlegrounds, which makes it might make it a little bit more difficult for Adrian to score domination. But once he sets up in France. So what do you think about the taking of the two non-battlegrounds here rather than just jamming up East Germany and Poland as high as you can?
Well, look, we're at 5-7 there with those battlegrounds, right? And so, he had the extra one in there from the setup. Then he had another one in there from con. And so I really like this. I will do this on occasion. I think sometimes U.S. players forget that this is an avenue here. And so, as you said, now Adrian's going to be forced to take 5 countries to overcome that. So that's 5 additional ops at the minimum here if he wants Europe domination.
Yep, and he's got to take France and then either Spain, Portugal, Greece, or Canada if he wants to get domination. Looks like the stream is perhaps frozen again. We're just having some technical difficulties here early on in the game.
Yep, it does look like Adrian's stream is a little bit more consistent. So, Harry, but I think if we have to, I think we could probably just move over there and just look at the U.S. hand, just the U.S. side of things.
But Ted, just looking at this early board, looks like the U.S. has just spread out everywhere, while Thomas, in his first turns, has a failed coup. He has a scoring card dump for 1 VP and then a space race for 2 more VPs. So he's just accomplished nothing at all on the board, and he's going to be in quite the unfavorable position heading into turn 2. He's got to get access to France. There's a lot of stuff he's got to do here.
Yeah. Now, the one thing is that Adrian's not being super aggressive as the U.S. He's worried about DEF CON here, so he's not gone into Pakistan. He's not gone into Thailand. He has walked his way to Saudi Arabia, which is going to be a little bit of a nasty surprise here with 5-year plan discards Middle East. So I do think that Thomas is a little bit lucky here that the U.S. has not been aggressive because there's nothing Thomas would be able to do about it.
Yes, and now I'm wondering if we will see a West Germany poke here at some point soon from Thomas. He obviously doesn't have a lot of ops to do it with, but with Europe about to be the only unscored region, France empty, a West Germany poke, in fact, gives him a temporary domination. So do you think we may see that on turn 6, or do you think it's just spreading out in these other regions is too valuable?
No, I think that makes sense. Interesting. So I'm a little okay. I did see 2 in South Korea, so I'm not totally sure what happened there. But now we have 1 in France. I do like the West German, and indeed he does. Indeed he does go for it. Now this is not going to be a problem for Adrian. He has plenty of ops to cover this. I would have liked to see it probably with 5-year plan and just wait a little bit. But that's what he does.
Yeah, I think I would have rather seen that on AR6. Also, we've got 4 millops here from Adrian. And so did we see an Iran coup, an unsuccessful Iran coup, or excuse me, Iraq coup? Is that what happened?
That
with a 4-op?
Yeah, you're right, because it must have been nuclear test ban.
Getting those millops is important. You hate to use a 4-op though, but he just happened to have a lot of ops this turn.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't go with Cambridge 5, but
so Cambridge 5 here on the last turn, and Adrian has enough ops to get domination. So he covered the West Germany poke, shored up West Germany, took France, took Greece, and now has domination in Europe, which is the only unscored region to this point. And okay, so 5-year plan discarded Middle East. Ted, I don't see where those ops went. Was there another coup?
It must have been a coup. Yeah, another.
And he must have rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because DEF CON is a 2, so it must have been a coup of a roll of 1 on Iran coup, and it failed. Okay, so some interesting stuff here. Still no 4-ops for Thomas, but he's got socialist governments. He's got de Gaulle. So he's got a good opportunity here to steal France, and with it, Europe domination.
Okay,
So I
and it
have to
looks
think.
like, okay, and we are going to switch hands here, which I think is the right move. I just think Adrian's stream is a little bit more consistent. So it looks like we got a Red Scare Purge out of the U.S.
Yeah, and
To
so
call
the
deadline.
USSR, yeah, is going to have to play China here if Thomas is going to have to play China here if he wants to take France, and if he does, I would expect a jam here immediately, right? He's just going to jam France right back. Ooh,
No,
oh boy, that is surprising to me. I think under Purge with using China there, with two four ops in hand. I would have liked to see France jammed right back because I think you're going to win that ops war.
right. Not to mention that you prevent the coup.
Yeah. If it were me, I might be so terrified of that jam that I use Truman to put one more into France right now and give up the coup because there are no good targets on the board for Adrian. But I'm a bit of a conservative player.
Yeah,
Would you just take the coup here?
I think I would just because he has socialist as well.
That's
Um,
true.
so it's not going to stop a four-op jam, obviously, but it would help.
What about eventing socialist? To one out of France to overprotect it, and then
Yeah,
a couple out of West Germany, which or one maybe one out of West Germany, one out of something call it Spain, Portugal, to give you back Europe domination.
yep, that's not a bad idea too. Under purge.
And then that'll just get fixed, of course. But then France is overprotected. Then you go ahead and take the coup. Yeah. Oh, and I like this play. Yep, excellent play there, there by Thomas. So Adrian's got to fix that, and now France is safely overprotected.
Yep, and now he's in a little bit of a pickle with this one. You don't want to put it in Egypt. You don't want to put it in Angola. Thailand seems, yeah, Pakistan's reasonable as well. Now,
Okay, yeah,
Thomas
but
does have,
and it looks like it is.
oh,
Go ahead,
no,
Ted.
I don't know what he's going to coup
Adrian's
with.
turn now. Stream's been paused for just a second. Yeah, this would just be a lower DEFCON situation. Now you could coup with EEU here. You're clearly not going to get domination. Adrian's got six countries here. Domination is not happening.
Well,
And a coup with Korean War and fail again. So I believe that is three coups on Thomas's part of Iran, and all three have come up empty.
yep, the good people of Iran apparently want their McDonald's and their malls.
Well, there's no question about that, Ted. And interesting using Korean War there. Only gets you one mil op. I think I might have liked EEU a little bit better just to get that second mil op, and also I don't like getting rid of Korean War because I think because it gives Adrian a little bit more freedom to take it if he wants to. But we'll
Yep.
see what he does. It looks like Adrian is much more concerned with spreading out here, which I think is wise, especially with decal on the way.
Yeah, well, here comes decall, but I think I would have gone with Truman on the coup because the issue with Eastern European unrest is that then you have to play Truman, and so you're going to lose entirely your influence in one of those Eastern European countries.
Oh, yes, that does make sense. Yes, you don't want to do that. So playing EU before Truman probably not wise. Yeah, getting Truman out of the deck when it's just going to cost you one op and be completely harmless. Yeah, I think that would have been under Purge, especially would have been a better play than Korean War there. I think you're right, Ted. That makes sense.
Yep, and I am going to flip out if no one tries to take South Korea here.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas had thought about moving into South Korea last turn, but decided not to.
Yeah, well,
So
I think we're seeing
Europe
Korean
still
War.
to be scored, and yeah, we've seen Korean War. So I'm a little surprised that Adrian didn't go for it. But now he's only got a couple of one ops left, assuming he wants to hold D stall, which I think I would if I were him. So it looks like South Korea it may stay neutral unless Thomas decides to use his ops to go in there. I think NORAD's going to have to go to space. And Thomas also needs to get presence in the Middle East here.
Yep, he does certainly need to do that. Yep, and then some. Okay, well, a lot of one-up plays here at the end of this turn.
So USSR here, AR6. I think. What are you gonna get rid of Truman? You want to
Yeah,
go to space? He's going to go with EEU, and so to your point earlier, he's going to go with EEU and go into Iraq. So a poke here of Iraq would be great, but it's not going to happen with just one op. So Adrian will be content to just take domination. Would have liked him to use CIA first, and then UN to have the option of UNing D-stall if he absolutely had to. Okay, so oh man, and two more 4-ops on the redraw. So just as well as socialist governments, which could have been used potentially for an easy domination. Europe scoring winds up in Thomas's hand. He's going to score the 1 point, but he won't do any better than that. He's down now 6 countries to 4.
Yep. Yeah, if it was just down 1, Suez would do it for him. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, Suez is not great here. Would you just headline the scoring to get it out of your hand and cash in and take your 1 point? It's not going to get any better.
Yeah, because you're not worried about. No, there's nothing that could be problematic. So I do think that that's what I would do. That's what he does.
That's what he does. So he's going to get the 1 point. He's going to lose 3 to duck and cover and face, once again, a severe ops disadvantage.
Yep, and no D-stall. Adrian was able to hold that through to turn 3, so we're not going to see that, barring assault maneuver.
Yep, and blockade also comes out on turn 3. So pretty useless event at this stage. NORAD will go to space. So Thomas may be able to get to that second spot, but he doesn't have a second space card. So I think we're just obviously this DEFCON is a 2, so we can't see a coup here. Ted, what do you do if you're Thomas? I mean, you got to take South Korea, right?
Somebody has to. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So, well, all right. We're gonna start the slow crawl. So, if I'm Adrian, I don't care. I just take it. I just take it straight away. Because Thomas would have to have Korean War, and then he'd have to win Korea.
Yep. Yeah, that's certainly one possibility. The other possibility is South Korea is probably not going to affect domination because the U.S. is in Pakistan and India as well as Thailand. So you don't need South Korea necessarily to get domination. But let's see what we get here. Ooh, he's going to flip Zaire and put one in Panama.
Seemed like those were plays that maybe could wait here because theoretically Thomas is going to be able to tie Asia up, albeit temporarily here. But I think Adrian lost a little bit of tempo with that play.
Yeah, I'm not. I would have liked. I think I would have liked to see him fill up India, maybe even Burma, protect from the IP war. IP wars these early war IP wars can just decide games, as you and I have experienced, Ted.
Yeah, well, as you know, they work. You win that war every time.
Yep. And so IP war, obviously not in either player's hand. It was seen on turn 1 and not evented. But yeah, I would expect South Korea here. Oh no, he's going to flip back Zaire. Boy, I think I would have just taken South Korea. I think it's a really important country.
Yeah, certainly for the USSR.
Zaire toss is just, yes, very important for the USSR to take it, not so much for the US. Okay, and now the U.S. is going to go into Cameroon to perhaps threaten a Nigeria flip or Zaire realigns. But that also gives Thomas an opportunity to get mill-ops here.
Yes, it does.
So I think a Cambridge 5 coup might make sense. Neither of these players have any scoring cards, and both of them are very much playing like they don't have any scoring cards. So Cambridge 5 event going to be useless here. and a big 6. So I think we'll see a coup back regardless. Oh, and he empties it. All right. So no harm, no foul, I suppose. And so I think Thomas is just so op-starved. We'll see a UN of NORAD rather than sending NORAD to space. I think that's pretty standard. And yep, Fidel for the event. Just get into Central America. Get something on that left side of the board.
Yeah. An immediate reline. That's
in one roll. Instead of taking Mexico, tries the immediate realigns and cleans Thomas out in one roll. That is heartbreaking. Just no access whatsoever. And now Thomas is going to have to rely on coups and hope that he draws something like Junta or Allende. Otherwise, or obviously Liberation Theology. Otherwise, he's going to be shut out of the Americas.
And
he spaces NORAD instead of UNing it.
I really would have liked to see the USSR take South Korea there and just squash K-pop in its infancy.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great play. Just to UN it, get another. Just if nothing else, get another card for turn 4. You're not if you're ahead, holding UN intervention is great. If you're behind, you want to get more ops. You want to have more chances to draw big events.
I have a sneaky suspicion we will see an event of blockade here. Yep. Which Adrian is fine with.
Not quite sure what the purpose of that was, but maybe Thomas hoped that Adrian forgot about it, given that he spaced D-stall. But okay.
And so good hand here.
Brush war. Brush war. No targets other than Nigeria for brush war. And quite a terrible hand for Thomas. He's got Central America scoring no access in there. So I think on Adrian's side, a one small step headline here is pretty strong for a couple of VPs. You could also go with defectors.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Cuban
that makes
to protect Africa, and then Cuban to protect Africa. But not only that, he can spread all over South America. Yeah. Cuban is definitely quite strong as well.
Yeah, I think that was a good play there by Adrian, because you're right. It's going to get him into South America.
So obviously, Adrian has one small step in his hand. I think it's quite a problematic here, a problematic hand here for Thomas. He's got a UN OAS, and then he's got a space puppets.
Yeah, that's manageable. I think his bigger problem is that he doesn't have many ops to speak of.
Yeah. Adrian reaching for brush war. I would reach for one small step here, I think. Get those 2 VPs, and then I'd start spreading. Brush war. Okay, you win your brush war. That was the only available target, but I might have saved that for a rainy day in case Thomas had something.
Yeah, the one other thing he might be thinking about is arms race.
Oh, that could be. Oh, he's trying to get off his own arms race. That makes sense. Okay.
I think one small step was better, because you're right. I don't think that brush war was going anywhere, and it is a great counter to any shenanigans. But I also understand going for the arms race points.
Space. Oh, and he misses. Okay, so he did give Thomas the opportunity to get to space first, but now Thomas has missed. So I think one small step right now has to be the play, because Thomas does have double space.
Or arms race, but
arms race is fine too. Instead, Adrian decides to overprotect Angola and Zaire, which is reasonable, just not particularly helpful when Thomas's hand is as poor as it is. Of course, we know that. Adrian does not.
Right. I mean, the other thing he could do is he could event nuclear subs if anything goes wrong in Africa. And then have at that.
Yeah. So plenty of options here, and also I feel like it's completely wrong that I'm the one bringing this up, but the Thomas needs to take Algeria here. There we go.
Okay. Oh, and somebody shows some interest in South Korea. Okay. Oh, no space. No. All right. Finally goes into South America. That's a priority. One issue that Adrian has here is he's got a bunch of events that he wants to get off, but he also needs to take advantage of the Cuban Missile Crisis situation.
Yeah, for sure. He wants to get into South America. So yeah, I think arms race is worth the event. One small step worth the event. I like to event Camp David, even though it potentially not really necessary. And I like to hold Kennedy, but yeah, you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of ops for just spreading. Okay, yeah, I like this play by Thomas to threaten Libya. I like the event there. So Thomas needs mill-ops here. Arab-Israeli war can no longer be evented because of Camp David now. So Thomas is not going to get those mill-ops, and so he may as well use Arab-Israeli war, I think, to take Libya here and stop Middle East domination.
Yep, that seems like the play. Arab-Israeli war might have been an interesting play before going in to Tunisia there.
Yeah. He's going to use Quagmire. Perhaps he is hoping now. One small step for ops. Interesting. One small step, very valuable here as an event, but I get it. You need to get into South America, take advantage of your of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Well,
what do you think about that play, Ted?
Arms race for ops here too, because he's got to get out of Venezuela as well.
Yeah, maybe Portuguese, one Angola, one Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, I really would have liked to fortify South America a little bit there. It's unscored, and Thomas has no way in other than coups.
Yeah. Okay. So now Thomas waited for Adrian to fill up Egypt, and now he's going to play Sadat for basically free. Remember, Nasser's still in the deck. Okay, so there's the arms race. He does get the two VPs there. And then I imagine his AR7 play, if it were me, I think I'd probably go one Angola, one Brazil, just to get some kind of influence in there. Just leaving one in Venezuela is just so ripe for a big old coup.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Kennedy, as much as you hate to do it, we have seen gunmen. There are no terrible scorings in the horizon, so I think you could justify that.
Yeah. There's not even any bad scorings, forget terrible. Also, thinking about a space race here? No, I don't. Yeah, I think you want to trigger, repair, and one Brazil. And very quietly, Thomas has stopped domination in Asia. Okay, so he succeeds on the space race roll, but he leaves one in Venezuela. Boy, I don't like that play at all. That makes me nervous, and that now gives the USSR a path to access here in South America. Now, VOA could dictate otherwise, of course.
And I like the how I learned headline. I think that makes a lot of sense.
How I learned to protect Venezuela. So what do we see? So Nasser is an interesting headline for Thomas. He's going to go with Salt and raise DEFCON and pick up D-Stall, I can only assume.
Yep, and he does that. Now, interesting decision here, because if that wasn't D-Stall, you just put it back to 2, no problems. Your plan works. But and that is what he's going to do. I'm not sure what the right answer is. What would you do there, knowing that your opponent has D-Stall?
If my opponent doesn't have D-Stall, if knowing he has D-Stall, I still don't think I want to get Venezuela cooed, right? So maybe. So I think now with DEFCON at 5, of course, you can just event D-Stall immediately. I would assume we're going to see 2 Brazil, 1 Chile, and then
yeah,
he's got VOA.
Yeah,
he's got VOA, so he's not at all worried about D-Stall.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right, of course.
he's not. This is
I
going to be
forgot about that.
devastating. This is going to be just devastating for Thomas, man.
Yep. He's no matter where he goes with this D stall, Adrian's going to be able to clean him out immediately and score at least domination. And no, he won't be. He probably will not be able to get to the back end, the south end of South America, but he's going to be able to score nice domination here in all likelihood in South America. But boy, yeah, the voice of America is such a great, just a great counter to a mid-war de-Stalinization.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime early mid-war VOA comes up, I was thinking about this morning. I mean, I think that D-Stall, I think is the best card in the game. I don't think there's much debate there. But what would you say is the second best card in the game?
Boy, maybe ABM's got to be up there for me.
Yeah,
War
ABM.
games, obviously, but yeah, ABM's got to be in the conversation. What do you think?
Well, I think ABM, Voice of America, and Grain Sales are all in the conversation there for number two, and we just saw the power of VOA there. I mean, it doesn't always make a huge difference, but man, when it works, I mean, that was just devastating. I mean, that just
That's
completely
nothing that can be done there.
Yeah.
Thomas decides to try and get that two VPs. Players just don't seem to be willing or able to collect on those VPs. And so, yeah, I don't love just beefing up Venezuela, not going into Brazil, because, of course, Thomas could have ABM. Doesn't. He will not be able to stop this South America stuff, except for with a Colombia coup. Yeah, I would have liked to spread into Brazil because that allows the option to get into Uruguay.
Right. Not to mention, I mean, Thomas could have had Asia scoring here and just one more point, and Adrian's got to play the China card. You would assume with cultural in hand here at some point he is running out of action rounds to do that.
A Nasser event is good. That's actually gonna even up the Middle East. And remember, Sadat out of the deck. So
and Muslim hand.
Oh, and so this line of play would make Thomas very happy because he's just going to use Muslim immediately, I would think. Or perhaps he would even put two in Iran with nuclear test ban and then use Muslims to really flip the Middle East.
Yep. So we are seeing some good counter plays here, which I do like. That's one of the most exciting aspects of Twilight Struggle to me is when you're able to counter your opponent's move perfectly.
Yeah, and so Adrian does have domination in South America, an extremely cheap and quiet domination. And so Thomas is going to play Usuria and give the China card right back with cultural sitting in Adrian's hand. So he's just going to play that. Oh boy, that I feel like was a kind of a transparent play. That Ted, I don't know. I think that was a mistake there by Adrian. When you see that two into Iran, you have to know that Muslim revolution is coming, right? Or is he just he's just saying, well, I'm going to make him have it? I think that was a mistake.
I think he just didn't think about it. I think he went right to it. And the other thing that he's got to worry about, he's going to run out of action rounds.
He's going to score his domination here. This is the cheapest domination you'll ever find. Just the one in Colombia, two in Venezuela. 3 ops get you a nice 6 VPs. So he will happily take that and push the VP counter to 14. But Africa still to be scored, a U.S. domination. Asia still to be scored, a U.S. domination. This game could conceivably end on turn 6 if the right cards come out.
Yep. Asia or Africa right now would, I think, do it. Africa maybe not. No, Africa would, I think.
I think I want to get cultural out of my hand, but I also would want to get to space here. Perhaps get
no
to
one
space
wants
with
space, Justin, and no one wants South Korea.
Yep. So South Korea was finally taken. but not space. So I do like getting Cultural Revolution out of my hand. Okay, you want to stop domination and then take Indonesia. Okay. And nobody wants Brazil either. Of course, less important now with South America already scored. But that VOA neutering the D-stall was just huge. And Adrian gets ABM. Let's see if we see any scoring cards in Thomas's hand. Because if we do, this could be over very quickly.
Yeah, particularly with ABM, because it's going to be a nice way to defend Africa, and he's going to headline it. Okay.
Yep. So an ABM headline here against Decall. Decall is probably going to have to be used a little bit in Southeast Asia. Decall not particularly effective in Africa, given all the battlegrounds are overprotected. Egypt coup evens out the Middle East, but Thomas has to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief that coup didn't go to Algeria.
Yeah, man, that is like the fourth time we've seen Egypt flip. These players very much want those pyramids.
Yeah, yep. Certainly great historical value. Now, I think would you see a Thailand flip here and give up another coup? With Southeast Asia scoring in hand, I think you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. It's going to cost him in Africa. Not sure what his plan is in Africa. I think he's just going to try to get some breathing room on the VP track with Southeast Asia.
So yeah, big Algeria coup here, and you could be looking at control.
Yes. Yes.
And there's nothing, and Thomas can't dump the scoring before that happens because he's just going to straight up lose the game. He's got to score. He's got to fill up and score Southeast Asia first. Okay, so that can be repaired. Yes, Thomas finally does have some ops. He's got a couple of 4s. He's got a couple of 3s. So I think you repair that, and then I'd probably take Indonesia. All right, Africa domination is happening, but it doesn't. But control doesn't have to.
But I think we see Adrian get pretty aggressive here in Southeast Asia, just to claw back some of those VPs, and that is what he's going to do. And this could be the end of the game here.
Yeah, I like taking Vietnam here. Sure, with Vietnam revolts in hand. Also, he's going to flip back Indonesia.
The other way is worth 3 points.
Yeah, I like this play much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Now Southeast Asia scores for even. Africa's going to be 6. And space. So I might go to space here, or I might dump the scoring.
Oh, yeah. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have these 2 VPs. You must have them, and you're not going to get them.
Okay, so I think 2 in South Africa ends the game effectively.
2 in South Africa would make the scoring there 6. And so that would get it to 19. Southeast Asia right now is even.
Yeah.
So he's just going to protect there.
That's reasonable. I think that's wise.
Yeah.
Okay, he's reconsidering. Now, Adrian has a little bit of an issue here with just the remaining cards in his hand. He can go to space with one and hold the other. But you certainly don't want to play any of those 3 red cards.
No. I think you're probably fine giving up Vietnam revolt as soon as Southeast Asia has scored.
Yes. Yes, I would agree. It's just going to be a matter of timing here. But Thomas certainly teetering on the brink.
Yep, and I think it's going to depend on this space roll, right? I think the game could continue if Adrian's space roll does not succeed.
Yeah, just tough position here. I don't know. Okay, he's play.
Yeah.
makes Vietnam free, more or less.
The Pope is a good event. I like eventing it, especially when my opponent has France, but not the highest priority at this exact moment.
That's going to bring it to 19 here, and I don't think there's
it's going to bring it to 19. If I were Thomas, I would event the Korean War. Well, I would event it and look for VPs. Is that going to? Oh, that stops domination. Okay, forces a response. So a 1 here is interesting. Okay.
Thomas is going to have to coup that back with a hefty card. He might actually win this if he doesn't lose his nerve. I think he can escape with those three points.
You think? Well, yeah, with the cards in hand. So this is AR6. I think you can still coup with Vietnam. And yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, this is AR6. So unless Thomas rolls a 1 on a coup of Saharan states or Zimbabwe, then I think he's going to get this domination now. And then on AR7, I would have to assume he's going to go to space.
I think you have to try at least. I mean, I don't know what else you're doing.
Yep, 4-op coup of a 1-stab non-battleground. Not very ops efficient, and it only rolls a 2. I think you have to use Vietnam to coup Saharan states or Zimbabwe, and just don't roll a 1.
Yep. Good advice, Justin. Don't roll a 1.
Yep.
Makes you one of the best players.
I know that's what they that's what you pay for here on Action Round 0. Okay, so AR7 has got to dump Africa scoring. It's going to be 6 points, and then one of these 2 cards is going to go to space, and we've got a 50-50 shot at ending the game right here, and that's going to do it.